JustConnect TV is your entertainment and educational channel. We broadcast authentic content that will inspire, empower, and stir up the potential and positive energy in you. JustConnect TV, streaming live.
Welcome to Marriage Bliss. This is your home for marriage enrichment.
Sure. At Marriage Bliss, here we unveil the true picture of how God intended marriages to be. Are you finding joy in your marriage?
Or are you at the verge of quitting?
We, the Muigais, are partnering with God to restore bliss in marriages. Tune in to your favorite JustConnect TV on Facebook and YouTube. We shall enrich our marriages together. Karibu. Wow. Welcome viewers to our program Marriage Bliss, and this is our home of marriage enrichment. We are glad to have you together with us. We are the Muigais. I am Mr. Muigai and she is Irene Muigai. Yes. And so we are proud to have you together with us, even as we learn to more things on how to enrich our marriage. And today we shall be talking about how to grow and glow in our marriages. Yeah, right. And so it is a wonderful thing because it's the desire of everyone who is in marriage that we keep growing, that you do not remain on the same place where you were when you are beginning in your first year, second year, 5 years. And how, so we shall be learning and asking ourselves, how do we get to grow in our marriages, and how do we get to glow in our marriages? And so, Irene, maybe you can share with us which are some of the things that we need to have with us and to put into consideration to ensure that our marriages are growing and glowing.
Yes. And this grow and the glow work hand in hand, because you cannot grow and we fail to see you glowing. And for you to glow, there is growth that is taking part in your marriage. And so welcome as we share, as the Lord is going to help us, and why it is important to keep growing so that the glow is maintained in our marriages. Now, you know one thing that makes us not to glow, it is because of getting used to our spouses. You get used to one another. Ile inaitwa kuzoeana. So when you mnakuwa na mazoeano, there is no glow and there is no growth. Why? Because you take each other for granted and you are not eager to learn new things. Once you get married, you are done. And that is the mistake most of us do, especially the ladies. When you get married, you have no need for makeups again. You have no need to upkeep, your beauty, taking care of your health through physical exercise. You just put it at a hold.
I think also men, ili usikue kwamba umeingilia sana the ladies. Yeah, I think also men, it is a two-way thing, right. Whereby we need also to ensure that there is something new that we are doing. Yes. That aspect removes the aspect of being boring, yes. Doing the monotonous thing. And so it is encouraged that we keep discover new thing, yes. in every area. Yes. Because nikikuzoea, I will just see the normal person. Yet when you move outside there, you are seeing new people, yes. You're interacting with new people, moving to different places. And so getting outside of the monotony, yes. Being very predictable, exactly. In marriage.
Yeah, we say the boredom comes because you hear people saying, you know what, I am so bored in my marriage. There's nothing new that is happening. And what brings the boredom in our marriages? It is because of doing the same old things in the same way. You become predictable and you don't have any change. So it is the same old way that is predictable, and that sets in the boredom in marriage. So what do we do about the boredom thing? We need to be adventurous in our marriages. Let us keep trying new things in every area of our marriage. Could it be the area of parenting? Could it be the area of appreciating my spouse? Could it be the area of intimacy? Let us challenge ourselves to learn new things every other time, so that we do away with the boredom in our marriages, because boredom is very risky. It kills marriages. And when you try new things, we are not telling us to be very expensive. You just need to set your mind. And you know what? I'm going to work for my marriage. I'm going to keep challenging myself. Because you meet most people when they get married, they lack purpose. You know, the self-purpose. They no longer enjoy things they used to do as singles. It's like marriage has brought everything to a standstill. You need to keep doing what you love doing. Is it a game you got interested with, you are interested with? Keep doing it. Bring your spouse on board. Do it together. Take a walk. You know, go out for a coffee. It doesn't have to be expensive.
And at this point, I want to appreciate.
Yes.
I want to appreciate you because at some point you brought in the aspect of even doing the physical exercises together.
Yes.
And you know, this it is fun, and it is fun, our viewers, when you identify some of the things that you can do together. And it is not. Just as you have said, it's not about the expensive things. Even as simple as doing just a walk together.
Rope skipping.
Rope skipping. And I like the challenge that you usually give me to doing like 100, 500 of them. And I must admit to the viewers, mimi sijafika ligi yake. She is still, ligi yake iko juu. But you know what? Doing such things together, you know, you can identify a hobby that you can do together.
Yes.
Like of late, I've come to love swimming.
Yes.
You know, just identify a place. You can just go to somewhere. It is not so much. And viewers, you can agree with me. You may not have the swimming pool, but you can go somewhere and you just pay the 100, 200, and you enjoy doing this together.
Yes.
That thing, I'm telling you, there is a way, it has a way of bringing the glow in you. And so it doesn't take so much, but when you don't do it, it kills your marriage slowly and slowly.
You are right.
Yeah.
You are right. And when you focus on doing new things, it keeps your mind challenged. You get challenged, and you come to realize that you have discovered new things about yourself that you didn't know.
Yeah.
Things that maybe you thought are meant for other people. And you'll be wondering, how did I even come to love this? And I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
And then it also helps you to know more about your spouse. They keep revealing their strengths. You also learn their weaknesses, where you can come in and help your spouse. So when you get out of the boredom cocoon and you go out and start being adventurous together, it is all about in your mind.
Wow.
Like we said when we were introducing marriage bliss, it is all about the attitude we have about our marriages. You think, oh, going and having fun, it's for the newly married, it's for the young people, it's for the rich. Those are myths that we keep in our minds, but that is not the truth. Every couple is deserves to be happy. Every couple deserves to enjoy. It is all in your mind.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be expensive. It is not for those other people. If it's for them, what about you?
Yeah,
What are you
we
doing
need
about your
to
marriage?
accept it and embrace it.
Yes.
Like and I like the word that we say, that you have to be very clear.
Yes.
And it has to be planned.
Yes.
You have to have it consciously. Like you are planning, even as you plan, like this is the way we are going to plan for our finances. This is the way we are going to spend our finances. Plan also something for your marriage.
Yes.
You know, one of the failure that we usually have, and I pray that God helps us all, is we do not give weight to our marriage.
Yes.
The question is, how much are you investing in your marriage?
You're right.
And you know, as simple as like the way we treat one another, the way we can, like for instance, like even go out, because even allocating time for your marriage, you know, the fact that you spend together in the same bed does not mean that you're creating quality time for one another.
You're right.
You know, we need to be very conscious about creating time. Even as you mark your diary and you say, this day I'll be out with my spouse.
Yes.
And regardless, hata kama umeitiwa event somewhere, you are very clear that I will not be available.
Yes.
Because I'm going somewhere with my spouse.
Yes.
You know, but rarely do we allocate time for one another.
Yes.
And those are some of the things that kills our marriages. And so even investing, being very deliberate
yes.
about investing in our marriages.
You are right.
Yeah.
And marriage is not complicated. The only glue that sticks us together is love. So if you ask yourself, what drives my marriage? What drives my marriage? The answer should be love and nothing else. Because love, like in 1 Peter chapter 4, the Bible tells us about what love is. You know, and it starts with the love covers a multitude of sin. Love is patient, love is kind, love is. So if we really have true love in our marriages, it will carry us through.
Yeah.
And true love helps you to grow and brings the growth in our marriage. But you know why marriages are fading? It's because when I first met you, there's the spark. Because it's surely the spark that brings me to you. I'll say, oh, that guy is handsome. That lady is beautiful. There's the spark that brings you to me through that attraction. And after you are attracted to me, you'll come and now start knowing who really I am. And can we walk the journey together? But the mistake is people are driven by the spark. And they forget that marriage is work. The spark will not sustain itself. For us to grow and to glow in our marriages, we have to keep the spark rekindled. And rekindling needs work. You cannot just put firewood. For those of us who've been brought up in the villages, there is that, the jiko for the stones, and the firewood comes together. You can put that firewood there and it will stay for years. It will never light itself. You have to light and start the spark. And then there is the the kupepeta. You have to rekindle the spark to keep growing,
keep it burning.
The fire burning.
Keep the fire
keep
burning.
The fire burning. So how do we keep our fire burning? The mistake is following the spark, and you're not ready to keep the fire burning. So marriage must be work, and love is what holds us together.
Yeah.
Because when I have true love for my spouse, then it will cover the multitude of sins that the Bible talks about. And what is the kind of sin we are talking about in our marriage? It is the small things that do not please me about my spouse. It is the small mistakes they will do against my will. Because we have come from different backgrounds, like we mentioned last time. We have different upbringings. We have different view of things.
Yeah.
But vision should be together when we come into marriage. But it's only sustained by true love.
Yeah.
Because true love never knows how to stop.
Actually, I want to mention a statement that you told me some years ago.
Yes.
That whenever you're talking about your marriage, talk about my marriage.
Exactly.
Not our marriage. I don't want our marriage to work. I want my marriage to work.
Right.
And so you must be very deliberate that regardless of the situations that come, because situations keep coming, that threatens our marriage.
Yes.
Situations come that some people may come, sometimes you may receive bad report about your spouse, and the enemy who fights against our marriages comes even through people. And some people are very close to you, and anakuja anakwambia, unajua nini, your wife usifikiria ni vile anakuanga unamuonanga.
Yes.
She is like this or that. And sometimes even people make mistake because you didn't marry an angel.
Exactly.
And that is why we say, even as we read in the book of 1 Peter chapter 4, that true love even forgives.
Yes.
Because indeed we make mistake. And so how are you ready to forgive and give a chance to your spouse? Because most of the marriages that have broken down, where you feel the spark has died,
yes,
it's because they never give each other a chance. And whenever you are given that chance, don't take it for granted. Never take your spouse for granted.
Yes.
Why? True love is whereby you and I love the way Paul describes this. that you love you like I should love you just as Christ loved the church.
Yes.
Like to a point of dying. Something that you can die for, someone that you can die for, I cannot go hurting.
Yes.
And why would I go cheating on you? Yet I'm expected to love you just as Christ loved you. Yes. The way Christ loved the church. Mm-hmm. And so there are those investments that we need to do, to maintain the spark. And I remember when you're talking about keeping the fire burning, yes. Keeping that spark, the fire, ensuring that the fire is burning. You remember when we were dating, like, and especially in our case, yes. That is around 15 years ago, when we were doing our dating, getting to know one another. We could go out. I remember that is the first time I took you to 14 Falls. Just go there and sit on the stones right in the middle of the river, and just feel good. I remember during our time we used to go to Huru Park, yes. And Kina Arboretum. Mm. And you know what? The moment we get married, you feel like you no longer need to take one another out. Mm. And so we give a lot of airtime and space to other people. Yes. Like every weekend you are very busy going for other people's event, but you forget about yourself. But those are some of the things that keeps the fire burning. That is what I feel. Yeah.
Ever felt the need to learn how to play a musical instrument or improve your music skill and never knew where to go? JustConnect School of Music is the place to be. We offer professional training in music sight reading, piano, drums, guitar, saxophone, bass guitar, and vocal training. We are located at Eprin Square, 3rd floor, room 26, opposite Buruburu Police Station. JustConnect, building worship.
Niguse tena, niguse tena, natamani niwe dhabihu ikupendezayo Baba. Niguse tena, niguse tena, natamani niwe dhabihu ikupendezayo Baba. Niguse tena, niguse tena, natamani niwe dhabihu ikupendezayo Baba. Niguse tena, niguse tena, natamani niwe dhabihu ikupendezayo Baba. Maisha yangu naiweka kwako, nitumie jinsi upendavyo, maana bila wewe mimi siwezi Baba. Nakuhitaji, najitoa kwako Yawe, unifanye kiumbe kipya, nitumie kwa kazi yako Baba. Niguse tena, niguse tena, niguse tena, natamani niwe dhabihu ikupendezayo Baba. Niguse tena, niguse tena, natamani niwe dhabihu ikupendezayo Baba. Mimi na Roho wako anijaze upya tena, anipe nguvu ya kusimama wima, na neno lako aniongoze, anilinde, anifunze maadili mema, anionyeshe njia zako Baba. Niguse tena, niguse tena, niguse tena, natamani niwe dhabihu ikupendezayo Baba. Niguse
viewers, welcome back. We continue talking about marriage growth, how it grows and glows. And we were talking about love. And when you talk about love and you really think about love, there's something that you felt about your spouse that led you to marriage. Why did you let it die? Why are you letting go? There's still a chance. There's still a chance to rekindle your love. There's still a chance to rekindle this spark that you felt about your spouse. And it is not very hard. You only need to change your mind and start little by little working on it. And you know the beautiful thing about love? Love is like a biodigester. You know, when you put it in your marriage, it just dissolves the bad things. You know, it dissolves the hurt feelings that you have, the bad emotions, the negative energy. When you allow it to just settle and flow, it just flows. Love is so peaceful because love forgives. Love believes again.
Yeah, love is patient.
Love is patient. How patient are you with your spouse? Are you this kind of person when they hurt you, you are all over and you're spreading it to your relatives, to your pastor, to your neighbors, to your chama friends? If you cannot handle something in the secret of your marriage, don't think by spreading it out you make it any better. Actually, what you do is strengthen the gap that drifts you apart from your spouse. And this is where we talk about the bonding. So how is the bond of your marriage? As the years goes by, is it getting weaker or is it getting stronger?
Yeah, that's a good question, and we need to ask ourselves, even as our viewers, you get to listen and evaluate your marriage, and you ask yourself, are you stronger and better now than you were some years ago?
Yes.
Because that is one of the parameters that helps you to look at the growth in your marriage.
Yes.
You know, the way you resolve things. Sometimes, of course, once in a while you get angry with your spouse.
Yes.
And I remember when we were young, when we had not grown, of course you could stay 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. You don't feel like talking to this person.
Yeah.
The question is that the same thing that is happening when you have been in marriage for 5 years,
Yes.
for 10 years, that you can stay for a week without talking to one another?
Very dangerous.
You know, that one is an indicator that you are not growing
Yes.
in your marriage. And we are saying we need to keep growing. And you say, and you create it in you put it in your mind that I want to grow.
Yes.
That when I'm angry with you, I cannot sleep without talking to you.
Exactly.
That one is a great sign of growth and maturity in your marriage.
Yes. That
you're saying what? No, we have to talk about this issue. Don't carpet things, because when you carpet things and you say wacha tuachane na hiyo story, you know, that is what crops out. You know, it grows under, but it will still come out at some point.
Yes.
Yeah, so those are some of the indicators that tells us that we are growing, and it is the desire of our heart. When you grow, definitely at some point, you know, the glow comes.
Yes.
You know, the glow comes when you are growing. But when you are not growing, it will show.
It will.
We shall tell that these people are not growing.
Yes. Because they assume, because we got married, marriage is about staying together. It's making children. You will achieve that. But there is more to marriage. Just like we have said, it is not about the romance that sustains marriage anymore. It is the work in it. And when we put love in our marriage, and we desire that the Lord helps us to actually actualize true love in our marriages, it shall be awesome. Because when you think about true love, it helps your marriage to be happier. It helps your bond to be stronger. It helps you to be freer. You know, you get free with your spouse as days goes by. But, you know, there's a small research I have done, and it's very interesting about spouses. When you're just driving along the roads, you can actually tell most of the vehicles in which it's a spouse carrying another a spouse, it's a couple driving together, And whether they are friends or they are relatives or mpango wa kando, there's a total difference. How do you know this? You get to see people driving along the roads and they are quiet. Maybe the lady is on the phone or the guy is on the phone. They are not chatting. And you can trail them and follow them for almost an hour. They are not exchanging anything. They are just driving. That tells you those people are bored with each other. They have nothing to share. They are not free anymore.
Yeah.
And you can imagine the input you had when you felt that spark about your spouse. Calling, SMSing, creating time to be together, sharing a lot.
I remember during our time.
Yes.
Time could fly. Like munaongea, so for many hours you can meet in the morning and until evening you are there and you realize that time has really gone. But what happens when you get married? What is it that happens that you can stay in the house but kila mtu ako na shughuli zake? What happens that you can be in the house but this one is very busy with the phone, another one there chatting, and it's like you are together but not together?
It is because we take the institution of marriage for granted. And marriage is an institution that was started by God in the Garden of Eden. And Adam and Eve were put to enjoy. But when we take marriage for granted, or we come into marriage with other reasons, that is why growth is not experienced. But if we knew that marriage is an institution that is created by God, and we are the students, you and your spouse, so how do you run in this institution? What are the efforts you put to pass? Because you cannot just go into an institution and you're just there and you expect things are going to flow. That will never happen. That magic doesn't work in marriage. Maybe in other places. But in marriage, you must be determined to work.
In fact, that is why I allow me to cut you short.
Yes.
The reason why we say it is a failed marriage.
Yes.
It is because the two students in that marriage allowed themselves to fail.
You're right.
And what I want to challenge our viewers, can you be determined that my marriage, I'm not going to fail? As a student in this marriage, I'm not going to fail.
Yes.
And so I'm going to put every effort, just the same way we used to work very hard in school. You say, I'm going to put every effort to ensure that I pass.
Yes.
And not only passing, enjoy.
Exactly.
Enjoy as you are doing your studies. Enjoy as you are doing it. Because just as it is an institution where you are learning about one another,
yes,
there is a provision for enjoyment, even as you are learning one
and the
another.
beautiful thing about this institution, God is our teacher. He directs us. The manual is so simple and it's clear. And that is the Bible. We use it to learn how am I supposed to treat my spouse, how am I supposed to run my marriage. It's all there. And when we are lazy, we don't want to do the work. We just need to pass the exam. Then there will be a lot of cheating. And when I think about my marriage, I don't want my marriage to fail. Then I'll put every effort, just like in an institution. I will not do the cuts for you. I cannot take the exams for you. Marks will be awarded individually. So if I take marriage from that perspective, it shall help me to grow. And when there is growth in my marriage, then it will show. Because there are characters and there are vibes, positive vibes that I shall give about marriage to those people around me. Silently, even people will be admiring because there is the glow now that comes from the growth. And when we talk about marriage as work, what is this work we are talking about? We are going to give our viewers only 3 very simple illustrations to show you how marriage is work that works and what is the perspective we should have about this work? Are we talking about plowing a whole acre and the hard work and hustling? That is not the case in marriage. For example, take your marriage as a good business. The investment that you take in a good business, you have to wake up early, you have to do research, you have to keep changing your products for your business to thrive in the current competitive world that is there. But you cannot just sit and expect your business to grow. You have to invest in it. So why then are we not ready to invest in our marriage? Like going for a seminar. even in some churches, they're offering free seminars for the couples. But you shall be surprised. Only a fifth, I mean, even less than a quarter.
They
will remain
create time.
behind.
Yeah.
They will create time for that. How many people have charged themselves to, attend seminars, take a class, learn something new that is enriching in your marriage?
Yeah.
But you're very busy. We can invest a lot of thousands taking other courses, taking a degree after the other, forgetting that marriage is where it's all.
So I think I totally agree with you. Just the way even we plow back the profit, don't take away everything that you get out of it. You plow back the same way you need to invest in your marriage. And maybe probably to give another illustration about a house. Sometimes you can be given, can you imagine a brand new house that has been done? But I want to tell you, if you don't work on that house, after some years, it will look like ruins. You can imagine when a couple of years, there is no painting of that house, there is no washing of that house. Of course, mosquitoes, the spiders will come and create webs there. Cockroaches will come and stay there, rats will come and hide there. And eventually, a beautiful house that was new, it will look like ruins. And so it is important to keep investing in that house. The same way we are saying in your marriage, do something every now and then. Ask yourself, what are the investments that we are doing for our marriage?
Exactly.
Not for our family,
yes,
but for this marriage. What are the investments? You need to sit down together and ask ourselves, what are the investments that we are intentionally, deliberately creating for our marriages to work?
You are right. Because take marriage as an asset, just like you shall get that nice house. When you don't take care of it and the rains come in, you find that it is very expensive to do the repairs. And sometimes it is so bad that you have to reconstruct again.
Yeah. So
it will shift from being an asset to being a liability. That is why marriages have become a liability to most of us. It is so expensive. It is so hectic. It is so stressing to maintain.
Yeah.
People are separated. Others are divorcing every now and then because we didn't take care about the asset that the Lord gave us, taking good care and nurturing it, just like a flower. If you have a flower bed and you want them to glow as they grow, you have to nurture by watering, putting in some manure, pruning, weeding. All that is work.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, people shall come and admire that flower. But there is someone who nurtured it.
Yeah, sure.
That is the same with our marriages. If you want our marriages to grow, a growth that brings the glow in it, then we have to nurture our marriages. But above all, we have to ask God for wisdom. Because it is Him who gives us the wisdom on how to run this institution.
Wonderful, wonderful.
It is wonderful and it is doable. You can make it. And if you're out there and you're giving up on your marriage or you've given up on your marriage, we are bringing the message of hope that you can do it. You can do it again. Just change your mind, do the little things. True love, forgive and forget. Give another chance because love does not die. And love never attempts to be still. It grows. And love tries again and again
and again
and again
and again. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for those words of wisdom. Indeed, it has been a wonderful show. Let's keep engaging. Let's purpose that our marriages must work. And so thank you so much for creating time for the Marriage Bliss. Indeed, it has been wonderful time being with you, our viewers, and we look forward even to receiving some feedback from you people. Tell us that your marriages are working. Tell us how you're feeling about Marriage Bliss. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord do you good. Let's meet again in our next show of Marriage Bliss.
Same place.
Thank you so much.
We all have a gift, a talent, an untapped potential that requires a little stretch when discovered. Well, JustConnect got you covered. We offer tutorials to equip and mentor this capacity. It is our hope and belief that these serialized teachings are making a difference and establishing you in your ministry to God. more information, visit our social media platforms, and remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and hit the notification button.